For the next 4 days, I will be at Disney World, riding and experiencing brand new things. Now, I have been to Walt Disney World before, but that was all the way back in 2019. Tron, Cosmic Rewind, Moana, and pretty much all of New Epcot wasn't even ready yet. And now this time, like, so much has changed. So this is going to be a pretty interesting experience. It all started on November 14th, the day my flight left to Orlando. We would be leaving out of Ontario International Airport, but before we went to the airport, we made sure to eat some food and then go to Ontario Mills, a nearby shopping mall. But after that, it was time to head to the airport. And then finally, we were in the terminal, just waiting a couple of hours before we would board our flight all the way to Orlando. But, there always has to be some sort of problem. The flight that was going to leave Ontario to Orlando was coming in from San Francisco, and it was on its way here, but it experienced a delay at San Francisco. But that meant it led to like a 2-hour delay. So instead of leaving at like 2:30ish, it's now like 4:40ish. Which, isn't that bad. It's only a 2-hour delay. I could probably handle it. But then apparently, this meant that flight crew had to be replaced because it would be working overtime. So Frontier would have to send in a new flight crew, and we would have to wait for that flight crew, which means the flight got delayed from 2:36 to 4:40 something, and then all the way until 7 on the dot. Yes, it was that bad of a delay. Oh well, at least I could easily plane watch a bunch of like Southwest planes coming in, and even our plane too. But then finally, at 7 o'clock, the plane would finally arrive and take us all the way to Orlando. Here's a flight montage. Now after we landed, it was time to address some problems. You don't just get a 5-hour delay and don't expect any consequences. Basically, our flight would have arrived at Orlando at about 10:30, which gives plenty of time to get some well-deserved rest. But now we would arrive there at 2. Which means that after traversing the airport, getting our bags, and taking the bus over to the hotel we would be staying at, and then checking in at said hotel, it would probably be almost time to head to the parks. Which means that after we literally just landed at 2:30, we'd have to leave our hotel by 7 to make sure we can reach early entry. So that means that there's like 0 time to sleep. But hey, if you have pure adrenaline, you can stay awake forever. And that's pretty much what happened. After being away for like the past 16 hours with barely any sleep the night before and a tiny couple of naps on the airplane, it was time to head to the parks. What's the worst that could happen? After traversing through Orlando International Airport and then getting our bags from baggage claim, boarding the Mir shuttle over to the Animal Kingdom Lodge, then finally getting into the room for like a couple of hours before we would have to start getting ready to go to the parks. I also forgot to mention that on our TV, whenever you turn it on, it would just play like the loudest jungle music you've ever heard in your life for literally no reason. Even if the TV was on a low volume setting, it would still be incredibly loud for some reason. I just wanted to share that because it was pretty fun. It was time to head to Magic Kingdom, the first park we would be visiting. Especially someone like me who's been to Disneyland like countless times and going down Main Street with the very familiar buildings to Disneyland, and then you just see like the giant like 200-foot castle. That part is pretty magical. But we would use our early entry to head over to Fantasyland to get on some of the smaller rides over there, and then getting on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And honestly, I don't know why this ride has like a 2-hour wait every day nonstop. This ride wasn't even that good. Then moving on, we would head over to Tomorrowland to get on some of the rides there, specifically Space Mountain and Tron. Now, last time I came to Magic Kingdom, I didn't get on Space Mountain. It definitely wasn't like I was mortally terrified of coasters or anything. No. But now it was just time to get on Space Mountain. And honestly, it was a pretty fun ride. Is it better than Disneyland Space Mountain? Absolutely not. But for being a Matterhorn in the dark, where you can barely see anything, it wasn't half bad. But then it was time for the showstopper, Tron. Now, this ride was pretty amazing. Being in a position where it feels like the restraint will just pop off and then you fly off the thing while being launched is just a super scary experience. I did get on Pony Express at Knott's, but this is like a billion times different. But after the ride, it was pretty fun. But then after that, it'd be time to head over to the other side of the park to get on Big Thunder Mountain. And this ride would pretty much be the last. Head back to the bus station thing, and then take the bus back to standard bus stuff. Later, we would head over to Epcot, which would probably be the highlight of today, to be honest. We actually arrived there pretty late at night, so we actually got to see the beautiful geodesic sphere all lit up in very beautiful colors. It was pretty amazing. I would get on Cosmic Rewind, which was a pretty amazing ride, and is probably in the running to be my favorite roller coaster that I've ever rode. Then next would be a small little walk around World Showcase at night, and it was pretty cool. We did go during Food and Wine Festival, but we didn't try any of the food or the wine. Me personally, I don't think I'm legally allowed to drink the wine, but that's just me. Then after a walk around the World Showcase, and then next up would be Test Track, which was just as good as ever. I do remember it being a little better though, but like...
Listen, y'all wanna talk about power? This bad boy's got more power than a electrified battery. Except you can ride this one without walking funny the next day. Talk about power. Chevrolet. Ladder up.
We just headed up. We just went to the bus station and then went back to the hotel because it was time to go to bed and actually get rest. Crazy, I know, but it's just so that we have enough energy for tomorrow. Today is Hollywood Studios Day. We were going to go to Epcot today, but we did most of this Epcot stuff we wanted to do last night, so now we're going to go to Hollywood Studios. But, there's just one small problem with today. Like, just one problem that may or may not just bring down the entire day for probably all of us. It was literally pouring raining the entire day. Like, did you want to stay dry? Well, you have to be under something, I hope, because it's going to be raining all day. The day started off with us eating at the barbecue place in Toy Story Land, and it wasn't bad. It was pretty good, to be honest. The next up would be the Aliens Swirling Saucers, which is just... But the next step after Aliens Swirling Saucers, we would get on the Slinky Dog Dash, and it was honestly pretty fun. Compared to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, I would probably, if I had to choose between waiting in a 2-hour line between Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Slinky Dog Dash, I would probably choose this one. It's just a lot more fun, and the launches make it a lot more better. After Slinky Dog Dash, though, Skyliner from Hollywood Studios to Epcot to see what it was like. So that's what we did. So, then after a short Skyliner ride all the way over to Epcot, it turned out to be raining harder somehow over here. So to get to actually get back to the hotel, we would have to walk through pouring rain through Epcot just to get to the bus station again. And yeah, that was pretty miserable. But later, I did go to this cool little arcade that they had. There wasn't really anything much here, but it was still pretty cool. They had this pretty cool snowboarding game that I really liked, and then they had this World War II plane simulator. I died, but we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, it was time to go to bed. Today is the last day we're gonna go to a park. So the day started with us waking up early to make sure that we could get to the early entry for Animal Kingdom, which was the park we'll be going to today. So then we could go all the way to Kilimanjaro Safaris, wait for that to open, and then finally do Kilimanjaro Safaris.
That even includes while they're sleeping. Now the hippos do have the ability to swim. You find for the most part they actually like to run or walk along the riverbeds. We are also going to pass some pretty large dirt mounds that are out here. These are termite mounds. Now termite mounds are made out of a mix between mud, saliva, and dung, which doesn't sound like the strongest combination of materials. And when the termites put them together, these mounds can be as strong as concrete. And it looks like here on our left-hand side, we're also going to spot some sable antelopes here on the hill. Now you'll notice the sable antelope's horns kind of grown in arc towards their backside. That's because they actually use those horns to defend themselves from anything trying to jump onto them. They're actually one of the few animals out here that'll fight back against any would-be predators. It does look like just a bit further ahead here, we're pink color. A greater flank of the there on your left-hand side now. Fastest land mammal on Earth, getting the speeds up to 60 miles. Some Nigerian dwarf goats. Now these goats only grow to be about 2 feet tall, which does make them the second smallest species of goat in the world.
After Kilimanjaro Safaris, it was time to head over to Pandora to get on the Pandora ride. Now, I do have to admit something here. I've only been on Navi River Journey, not Flight of Passage at all. So getting on Flight of Passage is going to be a first, and then Navi River Journey is going to be the second time I've done it. And Avatar Flight of Passage, which was the first one we got on, was absolutely amazing. Like, purely breathtaking. Like, completely amazing. I completely understand why it has a 2-hour wait, like, literally every single day, non-stop. And it was so worth it. And then Navi River Journey, definitely not worth 2 hours every single day. Like, sometimes getting a higher wait than Flight of Passage. I mean, it was still cool, but, like, the animatronic at the end was just the cool part, not really anything else. But anyway, after that, it was time to head to the other side of the park to do Dinosaur. I did want to make sure to reg this before it closed down to make way for Indiana Jones for some reason. Not sure why they did that, but oh well. I could pretty much tell where I would be at if I was on the Indiana Jones ride, because if you didn't know, Dinosaur and Indiana Jones at Disneyland have the same exact track layout, but you know, it's still pretty cool. It did feel kind of weird, like, oh, I should be in the cave section with all the skeletons. I'm, like, going through the jungle and the dinosaurs and stuff, I don't know. Oh well, still a pretty cool ride. It's kind of sad that it's going now. So then after Dinosaur, it was time for Expedition Everest. And yeah, this ride was pretty good. For some reason, it felt super shaky. During the helix inside the mountain, it felt super shaky for literally no reason whatsoever. But the rest of the ride was pretty smooth, and it was pretty enjoyable as well. It was just pretty cool just going up to the top of the mountain and seeing, like, all of the Disney World Resort property and stuff. But yeah, that was pretty cool. After Animal Kingdom, it was time to head over to Epcot again. What we were going to do this time, though, was a little different. What we would do is take the bus from Animal Kingdom to Art of Animation, then take the Skyliner from Art of Animation to Epcot. Now, it did feel weird taking a bus to a hotel that we didn't even stay at. Walking through the themed area with all the stuff was pretty cool. Then getting on the Skyliner, going to Epcot, yeah. But once we got to Epcot, we were going to start trying to collect all the little card things from all the World Showcase places. But by the time we got around to the World Showcase part, we were so exhausted, we just decided to go back to the hotel.
And the next day, we started getting ready to leave. And honestly, I don't think I've talked about my the hotel that much. Here's some like clips of stuff of some animals I found while we were staying here. This place is just so cool. Like, you can just wake up and see a giraffe. Like, that's just absolutely amazing. But now, after all the bags were packed, we were checking out of the Animal Kingdom Lodge and then driving back to the airport. Now, it just made me think, wow, I've had an incredible time here at Disney World. I've done so many new things, I've experienced so many things in general, and I've had a pretty good time here. Even if the weather kind of made it bad sometimes, it was cloudy all the time, so I didn't have to deal with the sun all the time, which is pretty amazing. But all good things must come to an end, so this is the end. But then I also realized, oh yeah, this incredible journey is only the first. The journey has just begun.